Yeah, hi everyone. Now let's talk about another set of tools. I'm going to talk about the Circularize. I'm going to talk about the edge flow and also the combine tool. So let's see how they work. Let's turn our attention to Maya. Combine just works in a very direct way. What it does, it combines two objects together as one. So let's say I have a box and I have a sphere. My viewport, it's a very small sphere. Scale this guy up. So with just these two, if I want them to become an object, right, I will just grab both of them and click on this button here called combine. All right, if I hit on combine, you notice that in our outline now, this is now one tool or one object rather. So this is this. All right, it is quite different from using a group. Group is not the same as combine. Group is still the same two unique objects, but in a singular group. So combine works just this way. And the reason why we combine is that some of these tools that we've learned earlier, like extrude, bridge, they don't work on two unique objects, except they are just one. So if, let's say for instance, I delete these two, I have this box and I have, I just subdivide this for instance. Let's have two subdivision, or three rather, on this, okay? And I have another copy of this. All right, these are two unique objects. I can't actually create a bridge between these two objects because they are two separate, distinct objects. All right, I can always do that if they are one. So, and to make that happen, I have to convert or combine them together. So I can either use to my marking menu combine, or I hit this button up here in our poly modeling shelf. Now it's just one object. So at this point, I can apply some of the tools we learned earlier, like the bridge tool. Okay, and to bridge itself out for us. So that is just combined. That is just how it works. It's as simple as that. Okay, now I want to talk about the edge flow. Now the edge flow works by looking at our face angle the same way. So let's have a box in our viewport. I'm going to delete these two sides, and let's just say we are beveling this end. All right, just a bevel. All right, this is fine. Now, edge flow works this way. If we have this side and have this side, the number should be pointing this way, the number should be pointing up this way, and this one should be pointing in this direction. All right. So edge flow, it is applied on an edge. It will look for the average between the two adjacent faces and tend to bend the new edge, all right, to it. So it measures the edge here and also the edge here and bend it out. So let me apply a subdivision around this. I'm going to divide or create a new edge between these two just to demonstrate how the edge flow works. So if I click on these two edges and I connect them together, hit connect component, now I have an extra edge. Now if you look at this from the side, it's still going out straight this way, right? I want this edge. Okay, this is going up this way, while this is going out this way, right? And I want this edge to pull up a bit so that instead of having this straight side, I want to have it this way where it's coming out this way, but it's not all the way straight. It goes up to this point and up to this point, and it goes all the way down. So to achieve this, I need to apply an edge flow to maintain a certain flow, okay, around this end. So let's just delete this blue pencil marker. If I click on this edge and go down to my edit mesh, you see it here, edge flow, and the icon is even more descriptive of what it does. So if I hit on the option, so see the options we have there. Okay, if you set to 1, all right, it will push this new edge, all right, to a value of 1 unit upwards. So if I do apply, see that it has left its initial position and it's moved that to that point. So let me undo that again. Let me show you. Let me have this point marked here. I have this point here. All right. Okay. Now if I apply my edge flow, notice how it moves that guy. So like that, you see, that has moved from where it was before to that point. So this is 1 unit out. If I push this to 2 and apply, it does that. Okay, it pushes that to it from its last position. All right, that is what edge flow does. So it's applicable in most cases where we want, let's say we are creating just say we have this for instance, and we are creating some kind of spherical object from around this. Let me scale this first up. Scale this up and I want to get the edges. All right, so if I pull this down, scale it around, I pull it down and I pull it down again, I'll scale it inwards, just like that. All right, now it's not really looking smooth around the edges. All right, it's just going all the way down. So if I apply a connection here, I just connect one and I click on the whole of this. This is where my edge flow can really help me out. So if I reset this, hit on apply, you see what Maya does. All right, it's applying a certain edge so that edge flow to this new connected edges around. So you have this curvature that goes down. Right, you can apply it here too. Okay, and let's hit the connection there first. Then with this, you can apply. All right, you can even increase that value up. So do that to like 2, then apply. Okay, you can do the same thing here, but this is just too straight down. So if I have a connection, I might not really have anything more there. All right, that's fine. So we have this. Okay, so we see how we can use some certain flow of polygonal edges to smoothen what we have with your edge flow command we have in Maya. And the last two I want to discuss is Circularize. So we've seen edge flow, we've also seen combiner. Let's look at Circularize. Circularize is just what the word says. It will turn any particular shape to a circular shape. So let's demonstrate that with a plane. If I have a plane in my viewport, can subdivide this to give us something here. Let's make a copy of this. So we'll explain two things. The first one is I can select some amount of faces here and grow them. Okay, see how rectangular this selection of faces are. All right, it's just rectangular. So I'm seeing things this way. All right, okay. Now if I have all this selection and I go down to this option here, this one here, I hit Circularize. You see what Maya does to create a circular form from our selection. It doesn't have to be a rectangle. It can be any shape at all. It will compact it to a circular ring. All right, that's what it does. We have some options of how it does that. We're not going to look at that for now. Then that is applied to faces. You can also apply that to edges. So let's have, let's say we pick these edges. I'm going to pick this. I select on this one, select this one. To have this edge selected, right? If I hit on Circularize, it does the same thing, except for the fact that it doesn't affect all the edges inside the ring because the area are not really selected. So we have this one option here applied for us. So you might wonder, where do we use this sort of thing, right? So in one way, we can use this in to model some very quick stuff. Let's say we have a plane and we want to apply some stuff around them, and let's say we're going to extrude all of this up. Okay, and with this I can convert, let's say I want to convert this to some kind of sledgehammer. Okay, or rather, let's have it here. Okay, so if I hit on Circularize like this, I can scale that down again and rotate that, or I can use the options I have that to rotate. Okay, now from this I can now extrude what I have here, and you see how I was able to get a circular projection from a rectangular selection. All right, now a very more typical example that we can use here is I have a picture of an old table, the leg of a table. You see, we have a circular object and we have a rectangular one that have a very much chamfered edge or beveled edge. Okay, you might wonder how we might construct this type of thing, right? So we can do this in a very simple way, applying the circularize option. Now let's see how to quickly do that. Now I can make a sphere my viewport, right? And this sphere, I can go to my front view, my side view rather, could basically select some set of faces, could delete this set of faces. Okay. All right, and we delete these ones. Could come down here and grab this one here. Okay, grab this, and delete. Okay, now let me count the number of edges I have all the way here. I have 20 edges, and if I count this one, I have 20 edges. So with this, let's just say I have that by the side. I can create a box. Okay, now in my box, I can now decide to grab all the edges I have there. Okay, and bevel those edges. Let's say I have like 4 subdivision, if not. All right, that way. And with this, I want to create some subdivision at the center so that I can circularize them. So if I put this on this guy, I can combine them together, or bridge them together. So that's the idea. So if I go down to this particular one here, and I can apply some connection, I will soon show us how to connect vertices together in Maya. If I've not done so earlier, I'll even apply a multi-chord. See how that works. Let enter my viewport, cut from here down to this, enter my viewport. So I won't bother about the base for now because I'm just trying to explain how to use the Circularize. So I want to select, let me delete all of this. Okay, I want to select these edges here, I'll pick everything here. All right, I will subdivide this. Let's say let's give it a solution of 4. So I'm counting 5 edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay, I will also pick this one too and repeat the same procedure. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 edges. So I'm going to pick 1, 5, 5 edges and double click the last one. So I have 20 edges selected here. So with this, I can just use my circularize option and I'll get what I need. Or I can have a selection of faces instead of selection of edges. All right. So let's just say I pick on this face here and grow that selection. Can hit circularize here. I have this. Okay. You can add some level of twist if you want to add those twists. So let's just see we have this twist. Okay. Can relax the interior part, which is the center of all of this. Can relax them as much as you want to relax them. Okay, I'll turn this to 2 and so on. Now, let's say we are cool with this. Okay, I can grab all of this and just hit delete. Then if I align this to my object, okay, can set this to the center of the entire world and this one too, the center. Okay, and grab this to up, grab this up, push this up here. So at this point, you will see that because I have the number of edges I have here is 20. All right, the number of edges I have here is 20. When I bridge the two of them, they will basically bridge because you've met the bridge criteria that the number of edges you have on both sides of an object should be equal. So if I want to, I can even just grab all the edges I have on this one and you can decide to even scale it out a bit that way. Okay, now I have to make sure that these two objects are one by combining them together. Then grab this, and I can now use my bridge tool. I'm just giving a distance so you see what will happen here. So if I hit my bridge tool, have my bridge half in there. So of course I might not need to even have any of this. I can push all of this down, and if it's that close, of course, then I can use my weld to achieve what I want to achieve there. So you see that very much close. This is very much close to the reference we have here, all right, with the beveled angles and the circularized number of faces we have here in Maya. So can decide to even just delete or bridge or weld some of these together, and we have what we want. So to make a quick correction here, you can grab all of these, grow them to that point, and rotate them a bit that way, and I think that is all we can do for now. Okay, so here we go. So this is an example of what we can achieve with that. We can repeat all of this over again to get how that works. So the essence of what we're seeing here is we use Circularize to convert a selection of any shape of faces or edges we have into a circular form. So we've talked about treating Circularize, edge flow, and combine. In the next video we will see some other tools we have in Maya. So take care and bye for now.